I'm going to make two videos. At least I want to make two videos today. One talking about the NBA. But first and foremost, welcome to another video. I'm doing these back to back now. I feel like sports has picked up. You know, there's sports, there's soccer, football. And there's football. Baseball just got done. Thank God. Basketball. Did I say that? Basketball, soccer, football. I'm missing one. College football. NFL. Yeah, so they're all intertwined. Now even hockey. I don't know if there's a lot of hockey watchers out there, but yeah. I wanted to make two videos. One talking about the NBA, one talking about the NFL. And the first one I want to get to is the NFL. I mean, since we're in yesterday, the Jets came off a big win against the Buffalo team that was looking pretty good, especially the defense, right? Put up 34 on Buffalo. It's a big win, especially for the Jets team that I think they got robbed in that game against the Patriots when the ref said it was some sort of fumble. Which it was, but he regained possession before crossing before hitting the pylon. But of course, the refs always saving the Patriots. But yes, I wanted to make a video on the NFL through the first half of the season and what's my takeaways, what the heck I have seen. There's quite a few players that personally I think that took a dip, right? And I thought they weren't going to. I didn't think they were going to play this bad. I mean, they're not playing horribly, but definitely not what they were in years prior. Which leads me to the first one being Matt Ryan. Clearly, it was going to be really hard to replicate that year he had last year, where he almost threw 5,000 yards. His completion percentage was like 70. He threw for 30 plus touchdowns and didn't turn the ball over that much. But this year he's just not anywhere near that, right? And I think it happens. I think last year was actually an anomaly for Matt Ryan. If you take a look at his years past, this year is actually aligning with everything but last year. So yeah, I think last year was an anomaly for him. Plus, if you take a look at every other quarterback, like a 2011 Aaron Rodgers, a 2007 Tom Brady, it's hard to replicate that, right? Like Tom Brady had 50 touchdowns and like 7 picks or whatever. He's not going to continue to do that. Same with Aaron Rodgers in 2011, 45 or 46 touchdowns and like 5 picks or 4, whatever absurdity those numbers were. It's just not gonna, it's not an upward trend. But I do think he has been a little bit underwhelming. I think I don't think a lot of people pick the Falcons to make it back to the NFC Championship. That's not the case. I don't think it's going to happen. The defense has improved, but I don't think it's enough to get them back. And, it's just hard. I'm sure it's mentally draining, especially when you're banging your head and just physically trying to repeat that again. It's hard. Another player that I thought was going to be at least in the top 5 quarterbacks. I'm sure if you're a huge fan of his, you probably do have him there. Or maybe he is there. Maybe off the top of my head, he might be there. Might be in the 5th spot. No, actually not. 6th. But anyway, Derek Carr. Just a mediocre year. You got a sense last year that had he been healthy late in the season, they were going to beat the Texans in the playoffs and give New England somewhat of a battle, right? Because the reason the Patriots just kind of didn't blow past the Texans in the divisional round, but it was a lot easier because they got to face Brock Osweiler. Yeah. Now you figure that had they had a... Jesus Christ. Sorry. Excuse me. Had you figured they faced a good quarterback like a Derek Carr, that could have been a completely different story, right? I think you could have been I think the Patriots might have lost. But it's surely, I mean, it would have completely different than going up against Brock Osweiler, who's, by the way, starting, I believe, this Sunday. Good luck, Broncos fans. Another takeaway that, and sticking with the Raiders, is Marshawn Lynch. I personally didn't even think it was a good idea for anybody to sign him to begin with. And then the Raiders wanted to bring the hometown dude, which is right. But not have him as like the main guy. He's been really, I mean, he should have just stayed retired. I think the only highlight of his was pushing the ref and getting suspended a game. Unless you can think of something better. So those are 3 players, maybe 3 teams really, or 2 teams that have been really not lived up to the expectations of everybody else. What's another? I guess you could say the Giants, but as soon as they lost Odell and their whole wide receiving core, you knew Eli. I mean, Eli is at the end of his career. He might give you another year or 2 if you're lucky, if somehow Odell can save Eli's career, but he's not gonna last any longer. Another one is who's always making headlines, right? Is Cam Newton. I think he's got like 10 touchdowns and 11 picks. I was actually just talking to a buddy of mine today at the gym, and we were discussing. I told him, I was like, he can throw. He's got a rocket for an arm, but his motion is. He was telling me how he pays attention a lot to his motion and how it takes a lot for him to wind up and throw. And I just personally don't see him as a quarterback that's going to last another 3-4 years, especially as a franchise quarterback. He's obviously had his concussion issues. He takes, more hits because he's a little bit more mobile than most. But I just don't think he's going to be I think the Panthers should start looking here in the next year or 2 for a replacement, really. It sounds absurd because I think he's only in his late 20s. But, I mean, it's just the kind of quarterback he is, right? I think he throws a lot of interceptions. And I guess another one, but this guy hasn't even played, and they just put him on the IR, and I don't think he's gonna play, is Andrew Luck. Because, damn, I was pretty excited as a football fan. I was really excited to see what Andrew Luck, because this is probably like the entering of his prime. Or you could say he's been in his prime. But this year I think he would have been out to prove something. And I guess the shoulder injury that he had surgery on way back in January has just not healed. So, yeah, that's my mid-season review, if you will. I guess the favorites, you don't really have a favorite because everybody's getting injured. I guess Deshaun Watson had just got injured, tore his ACL. God, that kid was fun to watch too. So everybody's just, I think just one injury just changes the landscape of it all, right? But if you were to make a bet mid-season, I think your 2 best team, or the team, like as of now, who you would see in the Super Bowl would be the Steelers in the AFC and the Eagles in the NFC. I think Carson Wentz he's the clear-cut favorite for the MVP at the moment. But yeah, those 2 teams are probably the ones that stand out the most and that have a well-balanced. I haven't watched too much Eagles, but I know they do look good against the Redskins and a few other games. But I mean, they're 7-1, right? I mean, they look good against the Panthers at Carolina. So yeah, those are my mid-season takeaways. My Super Bowl, if you want to make a mid-season Super Bowl, they would be it. Steelers or Eagles and Steelers. Of course, it's a long season, right? There's still 8-ish more games. Anything can change. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. What is your takeaway in the NFL? Who do you have as of now leading the MVP race? And who do you see in the Super Bowl as of right now? Not projecting if they get healthy, etc., etc. If that were the case, I'd say the Packers. But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys. Take care.